Hello, everybody. Welcome to Browns and Beyond, your home for Cleveland Browns content, NFL content, and other sports content. If you're enjoying the show, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you stay locked in with all the latest sports content. And most importantly, drop us a comment. We want to hear your thoughts. All right, boys, here we are, divisional round. NFL playoffs. It has arrived. Dave, this is getting interesting. Wide open playoffs so far, right, buddy?
Yeah, I think a fairly wide open year, especially in the AFC. This is actually my favorite week of the playoffs, is the divisional round. This is where I think we're going to have some really exciting games, Steve.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, Dave. This is fun. It's exciting. Divisional round. A lot of good teams didn't even make the playoffs. It's anyone's year.
Yeah.
No holds barred. It's exciting, guys. I'm hyped up.
And I think these games are better than previous seasons. This is a good playoff year, good regular season as well, but it's been wide open.
Yeah, a little closer, more competitive matchups maybe than we've seen in the past, Brent.
Yeah, and I'm liking this stuff, guys. This is good stuff. Last week, that Buffalo game, they played the Jaguars. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, guys.
You know,
there used to be blowouts in the wild cards.
Yeah.
And now a lot of the wild cards, close games, 3-point games. And I love it. It's good for the NFL. It's good for the fans.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yep. All right, we will start with Mr. Dave Greenshield, and it will be the Buffalo Bills at the Denver Broncos. Dave, give us some insight on this upcoming matchup.
Well, Brent, let's start with my vote for the most interesting game of the division round. I believe that was my opinion about last week's game between the Bills and the Jags. This is a rematch, actually, interesting enough, of last year's wildcard round, where the Buffalo Bills ended the Denver Broncos season with a 31-7 thrashing in Buffalo. This time, the Bills will have to travel to Denver for the rematch on Saturday at 4:30 Eastern. The Broncos will host their first home postseason game in a decade as they welcome the Buffalo Bills for the divisional, round showdown. That was that 2015 season, the Peyton Manning season, the last run of Peyton with that Denver team, that Denver defense.
That was the last time they were in the playoffs, huh?
Well, no, the last time
hosted at home. Yeah.
Yes, gotcha. Exactly. Because they snuck in the wild card last year.
That's right.
But yeah, that was the run of that defense. By the way, great run. Remember, they beat Big Ben, they beat Brady, then they beat Cam Newton in that Super Bowl, Steve. That was an incredible run by that defense.
Peyton Manning was getting older, but
game
that
manager
defense was so good. Wasn't that Von Miller? He was huge.
I thought he did a really good job of handing that ball off.
Yes.
That's some skill.
And throwing swing passes and screens, yes.
I thought that was kind of, it took some skill.
Yeah,
continued it.
Well, you know what? Hey, Peyton probably deserved another ring.
Yeah, he did.
His great career.
Yeah.
The well-rested Broncos, 14-3, earned home field advantage by securing the AFC's top seed and lone first-round bye. They'll host the banged-up six-seeded 13-5 Buffalo Bills, who are coming off their first road playoff triumph since that 1992 AFC Championship game, Saturday at Empower Field. This one will be Saturday at Empower Field at Mile High. 14 other Bills were listed on the injury report this week, and Buffalo coach Sean McDermott ruled out safety Jordan Poyer and cornerback Maxwell Hairston with an ankle injury. Also, wide receivers Gabe Davis and Tyrell Shavers landed on the IR this week because of injuries. Steve, this is not a great wide receiver crew, so it's going to be a little bit more depleted this week.
Yes, that's for sure.
Yeah, the interesting matchup in this one will be the Bills' offense that is tied for fourth in scoring, going up against Denver's third-ranked scoring defense. The Bills also bring in the league's top-ranked rushing attack to battle the Broncos' second-ranked rushing defense. Denver's defense also ranks first in yards per play, sacks, red zone defense, and second in total defense, and third in third down defense as well. It'll be interesting to see how star quarterback Josh Allen navigates this top-notch defense. Last year in the playoffs, the Bills gashed Denver for 210 yards on the ground. It'll be interesting to see if James Cook can improve on his 15 carries and 46-yard performance against the Jags this week. How's this if you're for Cook, Steve? Last week, he went up against the best run defense in the NFL, and this week he's going up against the second best run defense in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm not liking it, because I had James Cook for my bold prediction, and I was wrong. I had him over 100 yards. He only had 46, like you said. And I did watch last year's playoff game of Denver and Buffalo.
Yeah.
And I think Cook had like 120 yards, but that was last year. That was then. This is now. I'm afraid to say that Cook can go over 100 yards. He might be right in that 50, 60 yards again. I'm expecting a lot of Josh Allen's arm in this one.
Yeah, and his legs possibly as well, Steve. Something to watch. I'm going to get into that in a second. I'm interested to see, and Steve just touched on it, how Josh Allen does against this Broncos D, who led the league with 68 sacks overall. The linebacker combination of Nick Benito and Ohio State's own Jonathan Cooper combined for 22 of those sacks. This will be a game where I expect Allen to utilize his legs. It'll be interesting to see if the Bills' wide receiver core, which is depleted, can get separation against a Browns secondary that plays a fair amount of man coverage. Actually, I think they run the second most percentage of man coverage in the league after the Browns, interesting enough, Stu.
Oh, yeah.
The Browns still have one of the best cover corners in the game, and Pat Surtain, the reigning 2024 defensive player of the year. Yeah, Miles is going to get that award this year, guys. So the Bills did get a nice 12 reception game from Khalil Shakir last week. I would expect the Bills to use the two tight ends this week. Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox will be a big part of their offensive game plan. It'll be interesting to see if Cook can get anything going on the ground. Allen could use a solid running game for assistance, but I'm with you, Steve. I don't expect a big game from Cook on the ground. If anything, I expect Cook to be more utilized in the pass game, wheel routes, screen passes, things like that.
Yeah, I'm not expecting a lot out of Ray Davis either, but I do like Josh Allen and his legs. Right?
Yeah.
I'd be able to scramble and get some runs.
Yeah, scramble for yards and make some throws outside the pocket as well.
Yep.
I expect Bills OC Joe Brady to incorporate the tight ends, as I mentioned, use Cook as a receiver, and take some of those selective down the field shots to Shakir and maybe Keon Coleman and their other receivers. That's how they're probably going to work the passing game in this one because, again, it's a really good pass rush.
I like the tight ends, like you said, Dave.
Yeah.
Knox and Kincaid, those guys are going to be crucial today.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. This still feels like a game where Josh Allen needs to put on his cape and be Superman. I have to say.
He does.
I mean, you know what? Yet another tough defense on the road. On the other side of the ball, second-year pro Bo Nix has put together a very solid season. There's a lot of Bo Nix doubters out there coming into this.
I'm one of them.
Are you one?
Actually, I'm middle of the road with
okay.
Bo. I feel like he's consistent, but I don't think he's top tier.
This could be a game, Brent, interesting enough, that decides on whether he's on the island or not on the island. Interesting enough.
Yeah.
Does he have to get his plane ticket or something?
Well, Herbert's alone right now, so we got to give Herbert a buddy on that island, right?
Dave, I've given Nick some hate this year. I was not high on Nick's.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give him credit where credit's due. Sean Payton's done a great job with them.
Yeah, he has.
And Nick's is better than I thought.
And he's worked Payton's system. Don't you think he's worked his system?
Exactly. Well, I think what's happened here is a couple things. It's very similar to that other quarterback that came out of the draft. I'm going to talk about him later, Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
You're marrying the right coach with the right type of system, offensive skill, talent, and offensive game plan, for him to be successful. And he doesn't have to do a lot in this offense on this team because they have a great, great defense. He's 8th in the NFL in passing yards with 39-31. He's 9th with 25 touchdowns, and he has a combined 30 total touchdowns when you combine throwing and rushing. He tied an NFL record with 24 wins in his first 2 seasons. So that's pretty impressive. He wins games. He just finds a way. Yeah. And he's been effective in fourth quarters. He's pulled some games out in the fourth quarter against the Giants, Kansas City. So he's been clutch, Steve.
Yeah, Dave. Everyone said before the season started that they're that quarterback away from getting to a Super Bowl or winning a Super Bowl. But he's proven everybody wrong. Just those numbers alone that you said. He can at least compete. Now, he's not Josh Allen. Okay?
Sure, no.
But he can compete. And then with that great defense,
right.
They're still a dangerous team.
Well, I have to say this. Well, somebody at this table picked the Denver Broncos to win the division at the beginning of the year. I'm not going to say who, guys. I'm not going to pat myself on the back.
Did you do it too? I know Dave did.
No, he picked the Chiefs, I believe. Right, Brian?
Yeah, I didn't pick Denver, no.
Yeah. He is like Allen when he's at his best, when he can utilize his legs, whether it be running for yards or using his legs to make throws outside the pocket. I still believe he's far more dangerous outside the pocket than inside the pocket. Something to watch in this one. He has a solid group of wide receivers led by Cortland Sutton. In his 8th season, he led Denver with over 1,000 yards receiving for the second year in a row. I would also add Troy Franklin had a very solid season with 65 catches, 6 of those for touchdowns. The Bills, interesting enough, have the number 1 pass defense coming into the postseason. Surprising, they don't have an overly dominant pass rush. Their defense, I think, has been more built to stop the pass than the run. Their vulnerability has been against run defense, Steve.
What could hurt Buffalo, though, is Jordan Poyer, the old Brown. And,
yes.
An excellent, safety for Buffalo. Yeah, he's out in this one, Dave. So Knicks could exploit that defense a little bit. It's a possibility.
Going to be interesting. The Bills have got an outstanding play out of quarterback Tre'Davious White, who was the one that tipped the pass at the end of that game for Lawrence that created the game-winning interception against the Jags. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if the Bills can generate a pass rush in this one. Bo Nix had an NFL low 3.5% sack rate. Again, he utilizes his legs really well to evade pressure. The real area where the Bills have been exposed is against the run. We've talked about it all year long. How much will Denver commit to the running game in this one? They've not got a big year out of rookie running back R.J. Harvey, who's only averaging 3.7 yards per carry this season. This is a game with the loss of J.K. Dobbins, our old Ohio State running back, who was having a really good year earlier in the season, could be felt, Steve. I have a feeling that this is a game where we find out how much progress Bo Nix really has made at quarterback. As I say, does he get that ticket or not, Brent?
Yeah.
He'll need to avoid the big mistakes. He does have 11 interceptions on the season. The real question is, will Nix be able to hit those key throws when Denver needs it? Think about it, third down, red zone, those type of situations. All right, just in conclusion, the game will be an interesting test for Allen against this Denver defense. The pass rush is big time, and they're strong against the run. It'll be interesting to see if Cook can give them just a little help on the ground. I have my doubts. I expect to see him utilized in the pass game. This should also be a game with Denver's rush where Allen scrambles for yards and makes throws outside the pocket. As far as the Broncos, this is a game where they have a chance to prove this is not an overrated number one seed. A lot of people have been saying that, and a lot of that has to do with the doubts of Knicks.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Brent,
I actually think that Denver probably would be a lot more of a favorite if there wasn't a bye. Now the fact there's a bye, I don't think they were ever like that top-notch one seed anyways, but now with the bye and the rust, I think this is a great opportunity for Buffalo to take this game.
Okay.
Sometimes it's not good to have that number one seed. When you're sitting, you're getting rest. That's a great thing. But when you're not playing, the other team is,
they're in rhythm.
And they're hot, and they're in rhythm. It's hard to win. I've seen lots of number one seeds get knocked out.
How about Peyton Manning?
Yeah, we've seen that with Peyton in the past.
Unless you're like an old school Patriots team or something, it's difficult being a one seed that just so.
And Belichick was good enough coach to keep those boys moving on those off days. He could simulate gameplay and things of that nature. We're now. Now you don't practice that much, these guys. They're in the film room. They're not hitting each other.
Well, it will be interesting to see, Peyton's offensive game plan and the first couple drives for the Broncos in this one. Yeah. This is a defense that did have issues late in the season with better QBs. Jordan Love moved the ball well in a loss. Trevor Lawrence had his best day of the season. That's when you took him off of Fried Island when he went to Denver and performed really well, Brent, by the way. I'm really interested to see how Bo Nix looks in his second postseason start. Again, it'll be interesting to see what kind of game plan Sean Payton has with the extra week to prepare, as we were just referencing. In what should be a good one, I think both QBs will make some plays in this one. This is my view. This is Josh Allen's time. Give me the Bills 24-23 in a mile-high thriller.
Yeah, I like that.
Your thoughts, Steve?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you got it pretty close. I like the pick. I got Buffalo winning this as well, pretty close, maybe by a field goal. Denver is solid, but I think that bye is going to be key, in getting them. You got Buffalo winning this too?
Buffalo, I think they could win up to 7 to 10 points.
Wow.
I don't think it'll be just 3.
Wow.
I just think Buffalo has a lot of experience, Dave, and Denver's still kind of learning. Knicks is still kind of learning. I know they're at home, so that's always a plus, but Buffalo knows it in their head. This has got to be their year.
Yeah.
If they don't do it this year, it may never happen, and they have to realize that.
This could be Josh Allen's moment. It could be his John Elway kind of year,
Do a helicopter. I'm 38 years old. I'm a champion. I don't know. Remember that?
Yeah, interesting. I'll do it in Mile High.
Yeah, Mile High. Yeah. All right, we will get to Mr. Steve Retzer, the Brent Keaton 49ers against the Seattle Seahawks. My boy Brock Purdy. Side chick, right, Dave?
Yeah, you have many, like Retzer has side chick teams. You have side chick quarterbacks.
I do, yeah. And, Steve, you know what way I'm going, so I want to hear your insight on this. 49ers at Seahawks. Go ahead.
No, it's just a little bit of both. You have these side chick quarterbacks, then you got your Fraud Island guys, Brent. Yeah. So it's a little bit of both.
Keep in mind, though, Retzer's got a lot of side chick teams.
Oh, that's true. That's way too many.
Because I don't have as many players as you do.
I just say
a player for every team almost.
Oh, my God. It's getting a little crazy here, Browns and Beyond. All right, Steve, get us into this 49ers at the Seahawks here. Get us into that matchup.
All right, boys. The San Francisco 49ers and Seattle Seahawks are set to face off in a high-stakes NFC divisional playoff game. This rubber match is historic. It marks the first time in NFL history that two teams that have met in Week 1, Week 18, and the postseason in the same year.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting, guys?
Well, this is an interesting game. I thought, first of all, the first week they met, San Francisco was a completely different team because they were healthy, and then they met that last week. And I thought, we both thought, Brent, that San Francisco was coming into that game with a lot of confidence. They pulled out that thriller we watched on Sunday night against the Bears in that great game. And and that offense was clicking. Then they faced that Seattle defense that last week of the season. And that was the highest that Brock Purdy had been pressured the entire season. And this is a defense that can really get after him. Kyle Shanahan and Purdy against this Seattle defense will be something to watch in this one, Steve.
Oh, it's a story in this one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
In Week 1, by the way, guys, the 49ers beat Seattle 17-13. And then in Week 18 that we were just talking about, Dave, Seattle won 13-3. So it's a divisional game. So either team is capable of getting the win in this one, I'd say.
For sure.
The Seahawks were 14-3 as the NFC's number 1 seed and coming off the bye week. They dominated the 49ers just 2 weeks ago, as I said, 13-3. The 49ers finished, 12-5, coming off that gritty 23-19 wild card win over the Eagles.
Yeah.
Showing that they can win even when shorthanded. And that's been their season. Winning shorthanded.
Well,
right, Dave?
like I said, what this has shown to me is just how good of a coach Kyle Shanahan is.
Oh, yeah.
What he can do with less. I was thinking about this. Kyle Shanahan turned Matt Ryan into an NFL MVP. Look at what he did in 2014 with us, Steve, until Brian Hoyer got hurt that year. We were, a 7-3, 7-4 football team.
Yeah, they were beating good teams. They were beating Pittsburgh, Baltimore, I believe.
And then Hoyer got hurt. They had some injuries on the offensive line. I think Matt got hurt at center. We had to come in with Johnny Macaroni at quarterback.
Yeah.
And that was my nickname for Mansell.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Money signs. Yeah.
And it all went downhill from there. But, then he goes to Atlanta, turns Matt Ryan into an MVP. He's gone to Super Bowl. He turned Jimmy Gaggs, porn star Jimmy, into a Super Bowl quarterback. He has taken Brock Purdy now and turned him into, I think, an upper-tier NFL quarterback, Brent. I know he's your guy. And, he just continues
Look what he did with
to
Mac
win.
Jones.
Yes.
When Purdy was hurt.
Exactly.
Mac
Shanahan
Jones
he's one of the top coaches in the NFL.
He is.
Probably maybe the second best, maybe third.
We could have a case that we have maybe the two best coaches are in this division. We've always said Reed.
McVay and Shanahan.
And it's always a chess match. Who knows if we get that for a championship game, Steve? We'll have to see.
I know, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, this matchup is the McDonald versus Shanahan chess match. Seattle's coach Mike McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
He's had Kyle Shanahan's number lately, though, guys.
Yep.
In the last 3 meetings, the 49ers' high-powered offense has been held to 17, 17, and 3 points.
Yeah.
Shanahan will need a new wrinkle to crack Seattle's Legion of Boom 2.0 defense. I mean, this defense is awesome, guys.
Well, they have the same strengths that your Houston defense has. They can pressure, and they're also really good in coverage. The only real offense to crack the code with them lately was the Rams when they played in Seattle in that high-scoring game back on that Thursday night on Prime Video.
Yeah. Guys, I think that Kyle Shanahan is the better coach than Mike McDonald, but Seattle does have their numbers, so I had to point that out.
Yep.
Let's get to the quarterback health. Brent knows this. We were talking about it. Seattle Sam Darnold, actually, he led the league in turnovers this year with 20.
Wow.
And he's dealing with the oblique injury, guys.
Yes.
Though he's expected to play.
It could hurt your throwing motion, right?
Well, yeah. By the way, we got that information at the bar last night, didn't we, Brent?
Yeah, we did. CJ came through.
It's interesting the nuggets we pick up.
We do. We pick up a lot of nuggets, actually. Just say it. In many ways, it shapes and forms, right, buddy? All right. Go ahead, Steve.
On the other side, Brock Purdy looks to maintain his perfect 7-0 record in wild card / divisional round games. Yeah. That's pretty impressive. Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan 7-0.
Darnold thought real quick. This is like a fraud island kind of game, Brent. I mean, he's going to have to show.
Yeah. So I actually think it's different than the Bo Nix situation.
Sure.
Bo Nix, to me, it's too early for fraud island. He doesn't have that track record of a fraud island.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold does, and if he stinks it up, I am putting him on there with Herbert, and the volleyball's gone, and their buddies on that thing. I'm telling you right now, I'm putting him on it because that'll be 2 years in a row. Where he stunk in the playoffs.
And really, there are no excuses for Darnold. The game's at home. I think they have the better overall roster, especially going against a depleted San Francisco team.
Yep.
A lot of pressure on Darnold.
I feel like this is going to be a Dak Prescott type performance, and the Bugaboos are back, and the Seahawks are going down. I'm calling it now. The Dak Prescott. Remember Dak? He turns into a freaking pumpkin, doesn't he?
Okay.
Remember Dak? He stunk in the playoffs, and he'd have wonderful regular seasons.
But I don't think Dallas had a defense like the Seattle defense.
But
just saying.
But Darnold always chokes, and he did last year.
He has been a choke artist.
He chokes. I'm just letting you know. But keep going, Steve.
Well, guys, this oblique injury can affect his twisting and throwing, but it's still on his non-throwing side. So that's one good thing. Guess who gets to play if Darnold has to come out? Drew Lock is the backup if something happens to Darnold.
Ooh.
Now, he's not a solid guy. And guess who's the third string guy?
You got us
from Alabama, Jalen Milroe.
Oh, not Mildew.
I mean, what if Milroe had to come in?
Right.
I call him Mildew. That's not good.
Great pick, dude. Great pick.
That would not be good, Steve.
Yeah.
He's almost like a running back,
I can't believe we're talking about a third-string quarterback in a divisional round. Anyways, keep going. Right?
Only if guys go down. Only if
I know. I love the insight, but I'm just saying, we're talking about third-string quarterbacks. I don't know. Keep going, buddy.
Well, guys, the 49ers have played amazing despite all their injuries. I mean, as we know, they lost Nick Bosa and Fred Warner for the season. And then they just recently lose tight end George Kittle.
Yeah.
What a tough loss. Yeah. But you know what? They don't give up. Many teams would have been done with injuries like this to some of their best players. Don't you guys think? Like, you lose some of your best players, you're almost quitting.
I think
they're not.
I think in case, like, if you looked at like their 10 best players, 6 or 7 of them are injured. I mean, definitely their 2 best on defense, and then you throw in Kittle. It's really just McCaffrey, Purdy, and then maybe Trent Williams, their star tackle, Steve, and that's about it. As far as their best players they still have healthy.
Well, as far as for the 49ers, they must lead on running back Christian McCaffrey, and then the return of Trent Williams to establish a run game that was non-existent in Week 18. Only 173 total yards in the game, guys. McCaffrey should get a ton of carries and catch passes as well. I expect a lot out of McCaffrey in this one, guys.
He's going to need to be big.
Defensively, they need to force Sam Darnold into the big mistake that has haunted his career, as Brent has obviously mentioned. If Darnold throws interceptions like he has in the past, it's likely game over. I'll even give you that. If he throws a lot of picks. For the Seahawks, they need to replicate the Week 18 formula, guys. Use Kenneth Walker III to punish a 49ers defense, missing Fred Warner and Jair Brown.
See, that's what I expect. I would be real interested to see Clint Kubiak's offensive game plan. I think they can have some success running the ball with Charbonnet and Walker. Take a little bit of pressure off of Darnold in this one, Steve. You're right. Good point.
Yep. If Seattle's defense continues to frustrate Purdy and limit big plays to Jackson Smith and Jigba, they should advance. JSN needs to get targeted and have a huge game. There's no doubt there. Don't forget, they have Cooper Kupp. I mean, he was a good player for the Rams, guys. He still could be dangerous. I know he's older, but
it's pretty much JSN. I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into that later, Steve.
And watch out for now. I don't know. This could be something. Rashid Shaheed.
Right.
They got it from the Saints. He was playing really good for the Saints. He could be a sleeper type player in this game.
Barner, the tight end too, also could be effective in this one as well.
Yep. Guys, I'm a Clint Kubiak fan, and I think he's a solid OC.
Yep.
I think he will get Darnold up for success, and he won't play like he did in Minnesota. The injuries are catching up with the 49ers. They had a great run. Seattle is a tough place to play in the playoffs. You know how loud it is.
Oh, sure.
In Seattle.
Yep.
Tough to win in Seattle. Guys, I have the Seahawks winning 20-17 in a close one.
Steve took my score, by the way. I'm in that
is that
state.
what
Are you taking the Hawks?
Oh, yeah, I think
Whoa.
in a close one, I'll take the 7 points. I'd love to get that hook at 7.5,
Yeah.
by the way.
I couldn't believe that was a 7-point spread.
Yeah,
by the way, Dave.
I will take the points. I just think the defense. I think that Arnold avoids the mistake. I don't think he plays great, Brent, but I think his less than 200 yards passing, maybe a touchdown, and no picks is enough to win a low-scoring game. Your thoughts?
Get on the trolley. It's a San Francisco treat. San Francisco 27-17 over Seattle. Get it going. I'm going to go to Alcatraz when the game's over.
There you go.
I'm feeling Frisco, baby.
Okay.
This is it. This is the time.
All right.
Let's do this.
How many interceptions is Sam Darnold going to have, Brent?
I'm going to say he has 3.
Wow.
Will he have any fumbles or anything?
No fumbles. That's enough.
3 interceptions.
3 interceptions.
Then you'll be mailing him the ticket to Fraud Island.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna. Yeah, I might. Well, we're gonna take him after the game. We're gonna kidnap him in broad daylight. Get him, put him on the copter. Get him.
Y'all might have to go hang out with Geno Smith. They'd be turnover machines together.
There you go.
I just said. So that's kind of where I'm at. I got San Francisco taking that, and I actually kind of thought this, guys. You're gonna be shocked when I tell you. I don't think I had mentioned it until now.
Yeah.
I thought the winner of that Philly game was gonna win the Super Bowl.
Really?
I do. I felt the Super Bowl was that day was when the Super Bowl was decided.
Really?
So I think Frisco's going all the way. I do.
I had no confidence with Philly coming into the playoffs. I think that they were too shaky on the offensive side.
I agree, Dave, but you know what? They just seem to get it done most of the time, and they obviously they fell short.
There are just too many issues with that offense, Brent.
I get it. I'm just telling you what I knew they weren't as good on this year on paper. They're not.
Right.
But I thought they would get it done in clutch time.
Guys,
but go ahead.
This Seattle team is so dangerous because, you got Mike McDonald,
I know.
one of the best defensive coaches,
and
defense is important.
But you know what I think?
And I love Clint Kubiak. I haven't mentioned him much this year, guys, but he's one of my favorite OCs in the whole NFL.
Getting looked at for coaching jobs, Steve.
Yep.
I kind of feel
Gary Kubiak, who was a backup for John Elway in Denver, so he knew how to win. His son knows how to win.
Yeah.
His son is smart. Seattle's got a good formula, guys.
Done a good job.
I feel like I'm getting Peyton Manning vibes here out of this Seattle situation. I feel like there's been so much success with them in the regular season, and then the playoffs are going to come and it's going to smack them right in the face.
Okay.
If you remember, guys, they were winning games down to the wire. I forget who they played at the end. Who they?
Well, they barely beat the Colts late when you took Rivers as your guy.
We knew that, but there were some other games, the overtime game
against the Rams, where the Rams kind of blew the game. I would say.
I know, but what I'm saying is, I think that Cinderella's the time's up, guys.
For you, it's just the doubts in Darnold.
Doubts in Darnold,
yes.
And I think some of that regular season success isn't going to translate. And I think time's up. They're going to get bounced. But anyways. All right, we will get to the next one, and that is the L.A. Rams at the Chicago Bears. Dave, I've been looking forward to this matchup. I know you have too.
Yep,
big expectations of the Rams this year. Get us into this insightful matchup there.
Well, the Los Angeles Rams and the Chicago Bears both emerged from thrillers in NFC wildcard round. The Bears are the home team, but it was the Rams who posted the better record during the regular season, interesting enough. Isn't that kind of unfair? They had the better record and they have to go on the road to Chicago. Wouldn't you know?
That's crazy. That's right. They don't reseed it, do they?
No. Well, it's all divisional. That's how they had to go on the road and play an 8-9 team in Carolina last week.
My God, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they had the misfortune of playing in the snake bit and just loaded NFC West, where 3 different teams finished with at least 12-5 records. It was a great division. Chicago's coming off its first playoff win in 15 years. The Bears had lost 3 straight postseason games since the 2010 team beat Seattle in the divisional round. That was before they lost to Rodgers and the Packers at home in the championship game. The Jay Cutler team, interesting enough. The Rams are in the divisional round for the 5th time in 7 postseason appearances under Sean McVay. Just a really good run under McVay. It'll be interesting to see this one. It should be a very frigid Soldier Field when they meet Sunday, at 6:30 Eastern. So watch out for temperatures in this one. It's going to be cold.
How about wind? Is there going to be some wind in this?
There's going to be some wind in this one. It's going to be interesting to see how that.
Another tidbit at the bar.
Yes, we
20
did.
miles an hour. Another tidbit.
I was hearing about 20-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah, it's the only type of information you can get over gin and tonics, Brent. Yeah. I doubt we get the fog bowl of 88.
Yeah,
Steve.
yeah.
Okay. Well, let's start with the home team in this one. The Bears have been impressive. Give credit to second-year coach Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. This duo could offer the Windy City a quarterback and coach combination that hasn't seen in a while. Maybe since what? Ditka and McMahon? The punky QB known as McMahon. Got to shout out 85 Bears.
Got to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
Dave,
man.
I got to tell you, I just watched The Shuffle. I think it's a Netflix special.
Oh, my God.
We are the Bears, and they're dancing, and they, saying they're winning the Super Bowl before before the playoffs start.
Yes.
Pretty crazy.
Steve, were you bored on that day? You okay, man? You're watching? Did you watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and maybe Sesame Street?
Take it easy on Steve.
It's like Willie Galt, the Bears receiver. Willie Galt, the Bears receiver, loved a lot of attention, so he wanted to be in the spotlight. Actually, Jim McMahon and Walter Payton didn't want to go to it, and they came later. But anyway, go ahead.
Shout out an all-time team, the 85 Bears. Williams once again delivered down the stretch as Chicago rallied from 18 down to beat the Packers in his playoff debut. Now he'll try to join Sid Luckman, Jim McMahon, and Rex Grossman as the only Bears quarterbacks to win multiple playoff games in a single season. During the regular season, the former USC star set a club record with 3,942 yards passing. He'll be facing a formidable Rams pass rush led by two great linebackers in Jared Verse and Byron Young. They're really good. Young had 12 sacks during the regular season, and Verse finished with 7.5. Steve, remember, Verse was my preseason defensive player of the year pick.
Yeah, he was your defensive player of the year.
Had a solid season, but not as great a season as I thought he would. A key matchup in this one will be Bears left tackle Theo Benedict, who's filling in for Ozzie Trapillo. He suffered a season-ending injury against the Bears after emerging as the starting left tackle during his rookie season. So interesting, starting a backup tackle against edge rushers like that. It could be something to watch in this one. The Rams' pass defense ranks 19th overall. They've been vulnerable in the secondary. Cornerback Kilo Witherspoon was put on injured reserve and is out for the season after re-injuring his shoulder blade against Carolina. Darius Williams or Josh Wallace could replace him. It'll be interesting to see if wide receivers DJ Moore and Roma Dunze can generate some chunk plays against what's been a questionable Rams secondary. That's the one question mark on this team I've had. That and maybe special teams. Watch out for rookie tight end Colston Loveland. He's coming off 8 catches for 137 yards against the Packers. It'll be interesting to see if the Bears' third-ranked rush offense can get something going in this one. The combo of Kyle Monangai and DeAndre Swift was held to a combined 81 yards rushing against Green Bay. A staple of that Ben Johnson offense is to give his quarterback a strong running game. Remember, Steve, he had the Gibbs, Montgomery combination for those last 2 years in Detroit.
That's right, in Detroit.
Yeah.
And he's got the good ones in Chicago.
Now Swift and Monangai has become that combination for the Bears. Yeah, they've upgraded that offensive line, too, bringing in guys like Tooney and Jonah Jackson as well. If the Bears can get the ground game going in this one, this offense becomes extremely dangerous. They can run some play action, do some of those things they want to do with Caleb Williams. On the other side of the ball, the Rams come into this one with the number one total offense in yards and scoring, led by quarterback Matthew Stafford, my vote for league MVP this season. He's completing 65% of his passes and an average of 7.9 yards per attempt this regular season, throwing for a league high 4,700 yards and 46 touchdowns and only tossing 7 picks. He's been unbelievable.
Yeah, definitely the MVP.
Yeah, Drake May's had a great year, but I got to go with Stafford. Wouldn't you say, Steve?
Yeah, I would say I'd give to Stafford. I'd say Drake May would be second in the running, though, for sure.
I know we're both May fans, but you can't deny what Stafford's done this season.
He lit it up this year.
This is a Bears defense that led the league with 23 interceptions, but at the same time, they've been extremely vulnerable against the pass. Safety Kevin Byard has 7 of those interceptions. The Bears have overall the 22nd ranked pass defense, allowing opponents to complete 66% of their passes at an average of 7.6 yards per attempt. It'll be interesting to see if the Bears can generate a pass rush in this one. They did a good job of scheming up pressure in the second half against against the Packers, especially in that third quarter. That's why they got 4 straight, basically 3 and outs against the Packers in that third quarter. It helped them kind of get back in that one. Wide receiver Puka Nacua had 10 receptions for 111 yards and a touchdown against the Panthers, producing the 5th game this season with double-digit catches and 100 yards. I think a case can be made he's the best receiver in the game right now.
Yeah.
Oh, he's awesome. He's had like 200-yard games, right? That's pretty impressive.
It'll be interesting to see how much man coverage the Bears play. Jalen Johnson could be the mark in the secondary. He's given up a lot of big plays this season, allowing 298 yards receiving on just 25 targets. It'll be interesting to see overall how the Bears match up against Puka and Adams, which, in my opinion, it may be the best 1-2 punch at wide receiver in the NFL. Right guard Kevin Dodson is on track to return after missing the past 3 games because of an ankle injury. The Rams have a strong running game as well, especially with weather conditions on Sunday being what they are. It'll be interesting to see what kind of an emphasis McVay puts on it. Kyron Williams had over 1,200 yards rushing, and second-year running back Blake Corum is averaging 5 yards a carry. Overall, I'm just really interested to see how the Bears defense generates pressure on Stafford and handles all the ways that McVay can utilize his offensive weapons. It'll be interesting to see how both of these sharp offensive minds, McVay and Johnson, attack these defenses. Just in conclusion, the Bears have won me over this season. I was not a believer early. They found ways to get it done, especially in the fourth quarter. Interesting stat. The Bears had a league-leading score of 103 points in fourth quarter in overtime from weeks 9 through 18 during the regular season. They actually had 7 games that they won in the fourth quarter this year. They have a solid team on a really good group of offensive weapons, including a strong running game that'll be needed in this one. It'll be interesting to see if Williams can get off to a better start in this one. He was shaky in that first half against the Packers, but then came through in the fourth quarter, obviously. You could see that, with it being his first playoff start, really in that first half. As far as the Rams are concerned, this team just found a way to win last week against a tougher-than-expected Carolina team. The Rams' offense seemed off at times. They'll need to be sharper this week, no doubt about it. I expect Stafford to really attack the vulnerable Bears secondary. They seem to either get turnovers or give up chunk plays. It'll be interesting to see how much emphasis McVay puts on the ground game, as I mentioned. I think he will try to incorporate Williams and Corum on the ground. This one could be entertaining, even with the frigid temperatures. The Bears will keep this game close, but give me the Rams. Just too much Stafford and too many ways they can move the ball against this Bears defense. I'm going Rams 27-21. And Brent, by the way, I did pick the Rams to make the NFC title game of the preseason. Yeah. Brent, your thoughts?
I don't see it that way. I think the Rams are the better team on paper, but the game is in Chicago. The weather conditions are not great. And I saw what the Rams did against Carolina, and that's kind of what I thought was going to happen. I thought Carolina would either win that game or the Rams would squeak by. They're not squeaking by on this one. They're going to drop. I feel Chicago, Caleb Magic. I just sense it in the air. And, I got...
You become a believer in Caleb.
Yeah,
Williams.
I am. I definitely am.
Not quite there. I still can't erase, the first 2 to 3 quarters last week that wasn't great. And I know Stafford had his inconsistencies. He missed a few throws, a vertical shot down the sideline to Adams for the touchdown. He had a bad interception in the third quarter. I think Stafford comes back with a vengeance. I think McVay comes up with a good game plan. They incorporate the tight ends in the passing game. I think it's going to be too much for the Bears.
You'll see how good McVay is in this game. Because that if they come out and they convincingly beat Chicago, that's going to tell me a lot about the Rams. I feel like this could be the game that decides. I mean, we'll decide if the Rams are going to go to the Super Bowl, because I just don't. I get bad vibes from them when they're on the road. I just do. But go ahead, Steve.
Steve, your thoughts?
I think they had a good. I think they were good on the road overall this season. Actually, I'm going with the Rams because I had the Rams in my NFC championship.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm going Rams, but I do think Chicago has a great shot. I think this could be like a field goal game. I'm starting to believe in Caleb Williams. If Chicago can score first or get some momentum early in the game, then they'll definitely stay in this game.
Usually they're late bloomers. Steve, that probably won't happen.
Yes, they win.
They're late bloomers. They're going to be down. They're going to be down.
Okay.
Steve, I don't see it that way. Go ahead.
Third quarter. Now the Rams can score some points,
right?
But we know Chicago can get turnovers.
I actually think it's the opposite.
If Stafford's hot, though, I mean they could get a nice.
They could blow them out. That is probably the way. If I'm the Rams, I want to do that. I want to hit the gas early.
See, exactly. Get on top of them early.
Yeah.
Although we saw last week the Bears were able to.
They always come back
but
from
this,
10 points.
Right now, this is a better Rams defense than the Packers are, especially the Packers post Micah Parsons injury. So what I think is the Rams pass rush is better suited to generate pressure on Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
I'm not as convinced in the Bears. The Bears have become an offensive team. It's really built around Caleb Williams, a solid running game, and some good targets in the passing game, and this retooled offensive line. So I think that Stafford can take advantage of some of those vulnerabilities in the Bears secondary. It'll be interesting to see if they try to scheme up some pressure. I think this one could actually be entertaining. I'm interested to see how the weather affects this one too, and the game plans. So,
Yeah.
should be fun.
Yeah, all right. We will get to the last game here, and that is the Houston Texans at the New England Patriots. This one is going to be, this one's a little bit of a tough one for Steve.
Yes.
He's torn between, he's got his son over here maybe, and a father over here. It's immediate family. This is immediate family decision here for Steve Retzer. Steve, how you looking here in this insight into this game between the Houston Texans at the New England Patriots? How's it looking for you?
Oh, boys, this is a tough one for me. The Houston Texans are traveling to Foxborough to face the New England Patriots in a massive AFC Divisional round showdown. The game features two of the NFL's brightest young stars at quarterback and two defensive-minded coaches looking to punch their ticket to the AFC Championship, guys. Let's get into some Drake May.
Yes.
I think that he would be second, like we just said, in the MVP race. I think that's where he would be at. Drake May versus the Texans pass rush terrors. Drake May has been playing at an MVP level in his second season, but this will be his toughest test yet, guys.
It is.
It's going to be.
I have to say this about May. I think, it's interesting to see how much confidence he plays with coming into this one. I mean, obviously he's facing, I think, the best defense left in the playoffs. That being said, I think it was helpful for him to get his first playoff win under his belt. They're playing at home. I'm really interested to see the Josh McDaniels game plan against this defense, Steve.
Exactly. The Texans defense ranks number 1 in total yards allowed and features the elite edge rushing duo of Danielle Hunter. He had 15 sacks. And my guy, Will Anderson Jr., who I picked for Defensive Player of the Year. We know Garrett's going to get that, but Anderson, he had 12 sacks. May's ability to navigate the pocket and use his legs will be the deciding factor in the Patriots offense, I think, guys.
Going to be very important for him to utilize his legs. And that's a big thing. It will be in this one. Interested to see how those tackles. Will Campbell back at tackle. He's a rookie. How does he hold up against those edge guys? That'll be a matchup to watch in this one.
Exactly. In May, sometimes he carries the load in the running game, so he scrambles and gets yards. He could get more yards than the running backs. It's a possibility. We'll just have to see. C.J. Stroud's bounce back opportunity. Stroud led the Texans to a dominant wild card win over the Steelers, as we know, last week, but he struggled individually.
He did.
With 3 turnovers, guys. Not very good there. I got to say that. He'll need to be sharper against a re-energized Patriots defense led by Christian Gonzalez and Harold Landry. Christian Gonzalez is back in this one, by the way, cornerback.
Yeah, huge. Yeah, but one of the best corners in one of the best man corners in the NFL. And again, the Patriots are a team that like to play a fair amount of man coverage. So that's big.
Yeah. Notably, the Texans will be without wide receiver Nico Collins. He's got a concussion.
Wow.
So unfortunate for this time,
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're Houston, he's easily the number 1 target in this offense. It puts a little bit more pressure on Higgins, Christian Kirk, Dalton Schultz. Those guys are going to have to come up big in this one.
Yeah, that's right. And that's meaning, Stroud will rely heavily on Kirk and Higgins, that's for sure. And then remember, they got Noel, but he doesn't do a whole lot. Remember, I call these guys the dudes. We'll see which guy steps up for this one. It's got to be one of them. Hopefully Kirk again. I do like Christian Kirk.
Yeah, I also, I love that tight end. Dalton Schultz has been a solid tight end ever since his days back in Dallas. He could be big in this one.
Schultz, he led the
Also, I don't know if you have this in your notes, Steve. Can the Texans maybe a little ground game with Marks and former Browns?
Yeah, I got some of that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm going to get into a little bit Stephon Diggs. The Stephon Diggs revenge game.
Yes.
Former Texan Diggs is now the primary weapon for New England, guys.
Yes.
In their regular season meeting last season, Diggs, then with Houston, torched the Patriots. Now the roles reversed, guys. Diggs has 15 games of playoff experience, the most on the Patriots roster, and needs just one more 100-yard game to join elite postseason company, guys.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. One of the reasons I actually picked the Texans last year to go to the Super Bowl, and one of the things I liked about them is when they got Diggs to go with Collins and Tank Dell. I thought they were giving Stroud some really good weapons,
Yeah.
and it never came to fruition. Dell got hurt, Diggs got hurt. It never came about. I'm interested to see Stroud in this one, Steve. Can he bounce
Yeah.
back from last week?
My problem with Houston is it just doesn't seem like they hit on all cylinders. Even for the last three, remember the year that the Browns got bounced by him.
Yeah,
It just seems like I don't even think I think the defense was good. You need that perfect storm, and they just haven't hit that yet. Where Stroud is struggling too much. Where that first year, remember when he came out of the gate,
Yeah.
he was rocking and rolling. It just doesn't seem like they can put it all together. That's why I think they're going to get bounced.
My concern is he's got to be a little bit more careful with the football than he
Correct.
was against the Steelers
Yeah,
last
that's
week.
correct.
He's going to have to.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to hold them back from getting to a Super Bowl.
Really?
I do. I think he'll
Wow.
be the problem. Yeah, he's not doing good enough in my mind.
I would say his supporting cast, losing Collins this week,
I
really
know.
gives me pause. And then his
Gotcha.
offensive line has been a train wreck for most of the
Sure.
season. It's
Yeah.
been one of the
Yeah,
weaker offensive
they need to
lines.
shore up the offensive side of the ball. And I'll tell you right now, they give me Eagles vibes. They really do. Remember how the Eagles were tough,
Yeah.
and they give me that Eagle. But now I can't say that because the offensive side they're struggling. But go ahead.
No, but this defense is that good, though.
I know it is, and they give you a little bit of the Broncos 2015, and they can disrupt you. You saw I was watching that game against Steelers. My God, he didn't have much time, Rodgers, and Rodgers has got a quick release.
Right.
So, anyways, continue, Steve.
Yeah, guys, like Dave said earlier, the running game is important for both teams in this one, and expect a low-scoring game, I think. Woody Marks, he's very
Yeah.
important in this one.
Yeah,
If he
I
can,
agree.
and he's fast, man. When he gets it, he's gone. He gets yards. He's a fast young back. He's been playing really good lately, so Stroud's going to need him to do well if they want to win this. And don't forget, we got veteran Nick Chubb.
Yeah, there you go.
He'll come in for a few carries, and I think he'll get some positive yards, guys. He might get like 5 carries all game, but they might be for positive yards. Ramondre Stevenson is the main back for New England, and he catches passes as well. And then don't forget about rookie Travion Henderson. He'll be getting some carries, Dave, I think, from this one.
Yeah, I expect interesting to see if McDaniels comes out with a game plan where he wants May to get rid of the ball quickly. Maybe some screen game, lots of throws to the backs. Hunter Henry also could be a big factor in this game too, Steve.
Yeah, Hunter Henry's solid.
For the Patriots passing game.
Well, guys, Mike Vrabel has been a strong candidate for Coach of the Year award,
Yep.
and he won that in 21 with the Titans. D'Amico Ryans on the other side is an expert defensive coach. He quietly gets it done in Houston. I think Vrabel is the better of the two coaches, but Houston has more playoff experience with both of their current rosters.
Okay.
Yes.
There's some historic stakes on this one. The Texans have never reached an AFC championship game, guys. After starting the season 0-3,
Always got bounced in the wild card or the divisional.
Yeah, well, this is where it's ended for the Texans. The previous, now to be fair, they just ran into better teams. They
did.
really good Baltimore team a couple years at Baltimore, and they had to go to Kansas City last year.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, continue, Steve. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, well, the Texans started the season 0-3, and they could become the first team in NFL history to reach a conference title game after such a bad start like that.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots are looking to tie the San Francisco 49ers for the most postseason wins in NFL history, 39.
Right.
So I thought that was an interesting stat in this one, guys. I think the Texans' run game with Woody Marks and the experience of C.J. Stroud his top defense will be too much for the Patriots.
Interesting. Guys. Okay.
The Patriots had a stellar season, and I was the guy that picked them to make the playoffs.
Yeah, you had him 11 wins before the season.
Yeah, I had him at 11.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Drake May faces his first really big challenge, that being the Texans' defense. God, they're so tough. Like we said, Hunter, Will Anderson Jr., then Stingley and Latimer.
With all these young,
a lot to face. May does, you know that.
With all these young quarterbacks, I think it's going to be really interesting to see the first series or two of the game for them.
Mhm.
How do they come out? And this is where I think having Josh McDaniels as his
huge.
OC, I think will be very helpful. I think he'll try to scheme him up some easy button throws, some screen passes, some wheel routes to the backside of the
Yeah.
backfield, maybe some of that to Henderson. Ramondre Stevenson, as you mentioned, Steve, some throws to the tight end,
Yep.
give him some, rub routes, some crossers, some of that stuff. This is a really good Texans defense, and they're really good in the back end in the secondary with Bullock and Lassiter and Stingley at corner. Um, yeah, my concern is this Texans offense, though, Steve. What's your prediction?
Yeah, here we go, guys.
Go ahead.
I'm picking the Texans to make the AFC Championship. I picked them for a reason.
Go ahead.
And I have the Texans winning this one 19-16, guys.
Okay.
Steve, I have to check your heart rate and see if you're okay. You went against the
I went
Patriots?
against Mike Vrabel.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
are you okay? Did you
Family
get a doctor?
friend. Yeah.
I know. Can you believe I had to get?
I know.
What's your call on this?
Yeah, I got the Pats taking this. I don't think there's enough firepower with Houston's offense, and I'm going to go in a low-scoring affair. Patriots winning this one 20-17.
Yeah, I'm going to even go like 16-13. Pats.
Yeah.
That was one I thought of.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think it's a lower scoring game. I think they'll kick a field goal late. I think the Patriots defense is very underrated. I think, Stroud not having its best offensive weapon. This is a bad Houston offensive line.
Yeah.
Remember, the Patriots got after Herbert last week. I think they're going to get after Stroud in this one as well. In a close one, I think May avoids the big mistake, and they find a way to win it late.
Yeah. Well said, boys. We will get to the last segment here, and that is the bold predictions. And we will start with Mr. Dave Greenshield. Dave, give us a bold prediction for this divisional round.
Well, I'm just relentless in picking against the depleted 49er defense. Give me Seattle wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba to go for over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown. Now, I stipulate you'll have to hold me for both for me to get credit for the bold P. He's one of the best wide receivers in the game. Expect Darnold to target him a lot in this one. They will move him around. Watch out for him in the slot. He's really effective there. He's pretty much been Seattle's wide receiver core. He had over 1,700 yards receiving this year, and he was targeted 163 times. It's amazing.
Okay.
The next closest receiver was actually Cooper Kupp, who only had 593 yards receiving. He was a big part of this Seattle attack. He will help Darnold and the home team come out victorious Saturday evening, Brent. I feel good about this bold P, Brent. Although I think I've said that before.
Yeah, you have, Dave. You've landed a few this year.
Just a couple.
JSN's one of the top receivers in the whole NFL.
Yeah,
he had the most yards, I think. Right?
Yeah, 1,700 yards. Like I said, that 163 targets. He is their wide receiver core. I think he's just going to get peppered with targets in this one.
I'll be thinking if he has Purdy gets the win, hopefully you still get your bold pick. Anyway,
thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy.
All right, we will go to Mr. Steve Retzer. Steve, you going to get a win this week on your bold prediction? What do you got?
Well, Brent, I certainly hope so. I'm going with the Bills and Broncos game. My bold prediction is that Josh Allen, he does have the cape on in this one. He throws 3 touchdown passes and leads the Bills to a victory over the Broncos.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that is a bold prediction, Steve.
Yeah, against that defense. That's a really good defense.
It is. His playoff experience and superior overall talent will shine, while Bo Nix struggles with Buffalo's varied schemes and pressures. I think Josh Allen's got it, guys. I mean, he's MVP in the playoffs. We'll say that. I think he's on his way, guys. He's going to have a big game.
Superman. He's going to have to put on his cape this week.
The cape on,
I like the promise with Josh Allen because I want to see Buffalo advance, of course. So, all right, we will get to some final thoughts here.
Yep.
Give us some final thoughts here, Dave.
Yeah, I'm just really excited. I think we've got a great docket of games. I'm really excited about some of these matchups. I'm excited to see some of these young quarterbacks like Caleb Williams, like Drake May this week, and how they perform. We're watching some great defenses this week, like Seattle and like Houston. It's going to be fun. I think we've just got some great games, Steve, and I'm excited. This is my favorite week of the playoffs, is the divisional round.
Oh, it is exciting, Dave. I'm just hoping, fingers crossed, Sam Darnold stays healthy in this one. I need him to play in this game. So that's something I'm watching for.
Yes.
And this was my hardest of all our shows to go against New England.
Yeah, it was.
I'm admitting they have a great shot at winning it. You guys are convincing a little bit. I had to go Houston, and I am.
Mm-hmm.
But that's very tough to go against my Mike Vrabel-led Patriots guys.
Yeah,
I said they were going to be forming a dynasty.
I actually, and I'm just looking at the two of the more interesting title games, which would be Seattle and the Rams, and then the Bills and the Patriots. How the guard changed in the AFC East. It would be interesting to see if the guard flips back in the AFC East between those two teams, because it went from Brady dominating that division to Allen dominating that division. Does it flip back next week? That's going to be interesting to see. I'd love to see that as the title game, by the way.
Yeah.
So
No doubt about it. All right, boys, this is a good one. Have a good one, guys. Take care.